Don't like football anymore.
It hurts.
Yeah. My
Oh, baby. We here.
and we steer you off a cliff. Off the cliff of doom.
You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. And this is GPS. Football hurts a lot.
Yeah. You're taking that a little too literally.
Yeah. So, real quick, not to make it all about me like I usually do. So, this morning, about 20 minutes ago, there was a plastic spoon on the ground. And I went to go pick up the plastic spoon. So I bent over to pick up said spoon. And I stood up pretty quickly. And I smashed the back of my head on my marble bar top that is in my kitchen. And you go, oh, wow, Tom, that sucks. And you might ask, how hard did you hit it? Well, at first I swore I cracked my head open, but I didn't. But I did hit it so hard that I literally split it.
Ooh.
It was a clean break. So that was my morning.
Wow. That's insane. That is insane.
I have a hard head. So, yeah, I'm in concussion protocol right now. So if there's a huge bump, I don't have any concussion symptoms, so that's good. But Jesus Christ, that hurt. And yeah, almost as much as our teams caused us pain yesterday.
If any doctors are watching and you notice concussion-like symptoms in Tom, please diagnose us live. Let us know.
What other show are we going to talk about the pain that our team made us endure, and then also diagnose this? Yeah.
No,
good
the
guy.
moon-faced guy who's got a concussion.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot. Got to get me in the blue tent. Blue tent. So yeah, we're gonna talk about all of our games, and yeah, both of our teams not only losing yesterday, but
yeah,
but also doing so in terrible fashion, both blowing leads. And we weren't the only ones, at least, because the Cardinals still exist and all that great stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be a show today. But I feel like, Brandon, you're the star today, because I feel like it got as worse as it could get for you, because you were up by so much. And then when you're like, oh, we're gonna lose this game, that really sucks, they go and complete a Hail Mary. And then after the Hail Mary, they don't get the 2-point conversion because there's obvious pass interference that the refs don't call, and that's how the game ends. It's the hope that kills you, buddy.
You know, it's like the football gods just want to torture me because, roller coaster of emotions, man.
Yeah.
That game was it. Because, Broncos jump out to a 21-3 lead. I'm at the peak of the roller coaster, baby. I was bragging about how much fun I was having watching football again. I'm like, This is fun. This is fun. It seemed like Sean Payton had fixed all of the things I complained about last week. It was like, oh my gosh, he's good. We fixed it all. Getting big plays from our receivers. Marvin Mims had himself a game. 2 catches, 113 yards to start it off, and a touchdown for the Rook. Jaleel McLaughlin, 1 carry, 5 yards, touchdown. We're like, let's get Jaleel involved. Then he doesn't get any more touches. Kareem Jackson, who I defended last week for his bad hit, he gets ejected for a worse hit. Definitely worth the ejection. Right before halftime, Russell Wilson fumbles the ball. And at that point, I'm like, you know what? The refs missed a face mask on Russell Wilson on the fumble.
Things get better.
I'm like, I don't even care, guys. I don't care. I don't care. It's a ticky-tacky face mask. I'm not worried about it. And then you're right. Commanders they just chug along. Brian Robinson just torch their defense. People are like, let's fire Vance Joseph now. I'm like, dang, I didn't want him hired. It's week 2, and we're already firing our coaches to fix our problems.
Mm-hmm.
And we were down by 8 points. Like, this is just how it's going to end. Just how it's going to end. It's more than 16, guys. It's more than 16. Then you see your team make the most improbable of plays, the Hail Mary. Wilson takes a shot as he launches his moon ball into orbit. I mean, Elon Musk's satellites were looking at that thing. They're like, oh, where'd this fucking football come from?
I remember my first Hail Mary.
Bounces. Brandon Johnson catches it in the end zone. I've got the touchdown, Tom. But I forgot. Oh, no. We're down by 8, not 7. And the reason we're down by 8, Tom, is the Commanders were also given a 2-point conversion. So earlier in the game, officials rule not a 2-point conversion. And then they look at the review, and there's not conclusive evidence that Brian Robinson ever broke the plane. They're using a weird shot out of the back of the end zone, so they give the Commanders 2 points. Again, at the time, I'm like, who cares? It's 2 points. So to convert a Hail Mary and then not get the 2-point conversion would have been bad. But the fact that there was pass interference on Cortland Sutton, who famously can never get a pass interference call, he's the whole reason I've got a shtick against Sauce Gardner is because Cortland Sutton was the guy who he kept interfering, and the officials wouldn't throw a flag on last year. So yeah, it was bad. And I started my stream. I started my stream by defending the curse against the Lions, but I'm like, everyone's like, oh man, Tom's gonna have it rough on Monday because of the way the Packers lost.
Yeah,
the way the Packers lost was bad. And I didn't think I was going to top that. And then halfway through, they're like, it's going to be so funny to see you happy Monday and Tom really upset about how his team choked. It'll be a nice change-up. The change-up was about our damn teams choked, Tom.
You know why, Perna?
End scene.
You know why?
We ride and we die together.
That's honestly the most apropos clip possible.
That's right,
possible. There you go. You got a fitty, Perna.
Captain Carrot Cake, thank you. Broncos are going to end the season with the same record as the Chargers. Chargers and Broncos. Ooh, let's see how creatively we can not win this week.
Dude, week 2 was insane. It just feels like that early slate of games was just insanity. Just pure insanity. And the Broncos. See, here's the thing. Who had the worst loss? Because the Packers, I was like, damn, 12-point loss, the fourth quarter. That's the worst since the NFC Championship game against the Seahawks. That's really bad, right? That's one. I was like, that's not great. And then the Cardinals blow a 28-7 lead. But I'm like, I don't know. It's bad. Don't get me wrong. It's really bad. But I'm like, it's also the Cardinals, right? Everybody expected them to be the worst team in the league. We were like, oh man, the Giants are bad. They got shut out on Sunday Night Football. And then there was it was 60-0, in terms of the points over the 2 weeks, because I think they were up 20-0 or some crazy thing. And then they roared on back and they wind up coming back and winning the, appreciate you, David. They wind up winning the game. But then
nice, David.
The Broncos, the way it happens, it's just the Hail Mary, because I turned it on for that. I was watching the game and keeping an eye on it. And then I literally go, okay, you know what? Let me watch this. The Hail Mary. I'm like, watch this bounce a few times and somebody gets it. And it happens. I start freaking out for you. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God. And I know you're delayed. So I go on your stream and I get to see your reaction to it. I was like, this was perfect. I was like, wow, if they don't make this 2-point conversion, Perna's going to have like the highest video he's ever had in his life. And they don't. So it was this mixed feeling of like, wow, that was one of the worst losses I've seen, because they gave you so much hope even at the end.
Yeah.
And then they just ripped it away.
Do you know how I know my loss was the worst one, Tom?
It's
because I had Grossi numbers in my live stream.
Yeah, you had over 10,000 people, baby.
I broke 10,000 on my own. That's how bad it was.
There you go. There you go. Listen, what did we? Oh, wait. Oh, we have a 69. Hold on. Where is it?
Oh, yeah.
Where is it? I don't know where it went.
I haven't. Ho You Fat.
Oh, there I got it.
Ho You Fat with a 3. Yes, I just said that. That is that man's name. Don't tweet at me.
That's when the world was a little bit nicer and easier. Yeah. So
Ho You Fat.
Yeah. So the Broncos game, I think, might have been the worst one, just for their fans.
Like, because the Cardinals, they were up 20-0, right?
Yeah, 28-7 was like the big one.
Halftime was 20-0, and then but the Broncos were up 21-3 on the Commanders. Like, they were up 21-3
lead. Yep.
And then they went into halftime and it was 21-11 because of the touchdown and the 2-point conversion, and it was just stupid. And it all started with that stupid ass fumble and 2 non-calls. They don't call the face mask on Russ when he fumbles.
So I have a legit question, because I wasn't able to see the entire game. I obviously saw highlights and stuff. Was it more of the Broncos blowing it, or was it the Commanders playing really good football?
No, this Broncos blowing it. And don't get me wrong, like,
had a great day.
Commanders, Commanders fans should be excited about Sam Howell.
Left hand up.
What's that?
Left hand up. The Commanders dance, the song?
Oh, sorry. I don't know. Sam Howell's, he's good. He's solid. He made some very nice throws. The Broncos sacked him, I think, 4 times. So,
yeah.
It wasn't an incredibly easy day for him. Brian Robinson had 120 some yards from scrimmage. So they played well, but the Broncos should have had a couple stops. They dropped a couple what should have been interceptions. It's just their defense was just not good in the second half. It was more bad defense than anything, and also the offense not doing anything. Russell Wilson finished the day getting sacked 7 times.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah, our protection sucks again somehow. Is it? I don't know if it's the line or just if it's Russ holding on to things too long. I think it's mostly the line because they handed it. They just gave it away. They gave it away. Couldn't stop them for anything in the second half. It was embarrassing. Embarrassing. But that said, I don't want to take anything away from the Commanders because I think they're a decent football team. You know what I mean? But
that's what I was having.
His third start, and you can't get the win after being up 21-3. And the thing that was impressive about the Broncos is it was all the cliche stuff you hear. Next man up, rookies got to perform. They were doing that stuff. They were doing it, and then just poof, gone. Because Marvin Mims, we needed somebody to step up in the receiving game. Even with Jerry Jeudy back, it's he's not going to be 100% yet. Mims was the guy. And it just, see, and then Kareem Jackson getting ejected really killed them. Because last week, Caden Stearns, the starting safety, basically got hurt. Okay. So we're down to safety. Kareem Jackson is starting in his place, which is fine because Kareem's still good outside of trying to murder people on the field. He gets ejected, and the Broncos only dressed 3 safeties for the game. So usually teams do 4. Broncos are like, you know what? The injury last week, Kareem getting the penalty last week, let's just do that again. Because the reserve guy, Delarian Turner-Yell, also left the game with an injury. So we were down to one safety. Might have caused some issues in the passing defense. And Sam Howell did attack. He did attack deep middle there.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Brian Robinson, like, he had a monster day yesterday. Like, he's good. I'm glad I drafted him in a bunch of leagues. But, like, he was good. So the reason I asked that is because, like, with the Packers, it was an interesting time with the Packers.
Yeah. So tell me, because like when I checked in with Green Bay, they were doing well. Slow start, right, for Jordan Love, but he throws 3 touchdowns. They're making it work with guys we've never heard of outside of like Green Bay land.
Sure.
I was like, okay, like they're playing no Bakhtiari, no Watson, like they're playing ball.
No Aaron Jones, Elton Jenkins got hurt. Yeah. No, like, so that's like the upside, right? Is that what Jordan Love was able to do with a completely depleted cast of players is great, right? Wicks looks like he's the guy. Jaden Reed had himself a really, really nice day.
Wicks, dude.
What's up? Yeah, Dontavian Wicks. Yeah, we drafted him this year. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was like, for him, I never heard of him ever.
Yeah, Dontavian Wicks. So the nice thing is too, is like Jordan Love, and this is what I kind of focused on. There is a throw that Jordan Love made to Wicks in the back of the end zone, like the back right corner. It wound up getting broken up by like AJ Terrell, but it was like the most perfect ball. Like it was an incredible throw, threading the needle. And hell, even that last one on 4th down that wound up not counting because it was dropped is another like really good ball. So is Jordan Love perfect? Absolutely not. But the guy is taking care of the football. There was one that should have been intercepted, but he's taking care of the football. He's thrown 6 touchdowns in 2 games. He has no interceptions. So that's really, really great. The issue is that the third quarter was like all Packers. Before that, Jair Alexander dropped what would have been a pick 6. Then Quay Walker dropped an interception. And the Packers, who were like, Bijan was having a good day. Algier was having a pretty good day. The Falcons were down by 12 heading into the 4th quarter, and the Packers ended the 4th quarter, I think, with 7 total yards. They had 2 3-and-outs. Technically, then they just went 4 and out for the last series. They gave the ball right back to a defense that was already tired. And the Falcons were like, well, we're not going to do anything fancy. We're just going to run the ball down their throat. And that's what they did. And the thing was, Bijan was running so well that they had to account for Desmond Ridder, who was also using his feet. And Desmond Ridder had himself a nice day too. And that combination of Algier, Bijan, and Desmond Ridder just took a ton of time off the clock. And then they got into the end zone, or at the very end, they kicked a field goal. They go up by 1, and then the Packers just couldn't do anything. So it was just an implosion of the offense and defense in the final quarter of that game. And the Packers, like, they let it slip away.
Man.
So it sucked, but like
that's like a traditional bad football loss.
Yeah.
Right?
No, they didn't. Oh my good God. So I talked about this. So Matt Collins, who made like 2 really, really good catches. So the touchdown grab, even Benkert was tweeting about this, and I had to go look up the rule again on online. So if you just get the toes down and your heel comes down and your heel is out of bounds, it doesn't count.
Hello? Oh no, Tom froze. Tom froze. Are you guys still here? Am I still live? Am I live? What the hell's happening? Did Tom freeze? Uh-oh. You guys can see me, right? Can you guys see me? Oh, shoot. Well, guess I gotta carry the show, don't I? Oh, no. Here's what I'm going to say about that Mac Hollins touchdown. Should have counted. It should have counted. It should have counted. He got his toes in. I think that rule needs to be rewritten. If you get your toes down first and then the heel hits, it's a touchdown. So, yes, Atlanta, you got robbed of a touchdown. Mac Hollins, famously, no shoes. He never wears shoes except when he's playing football. So If anybody has foot control, it is that man. Okay? It is that man. All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see what happened with Tom. Let's see if we can get him back in here. I don't know what happened. There you go. Yep, I am hiding your coffee. Cole. Actually, we were just talking about coffee. Losers blend. Cole's, yours is back there. I'm not going to promote my coffee while Tom's gone. That seems unethical. All right. Here he's coming. He's coming back. Oh, the internet didn't kill him. Yay.
Power surge. Yeah, so my power, it's been storming here all day, so and all night. Sorry about that.
That's
so
okay.
Anyway, yeah, so complete total fourth quarter collapse. But I will say the exciting thing is the fact that like Jordan Love looked as good as he did. They had no Aaron Jones. They didn't have all these players. And I will say, like, the Falcons, they looked like a good team. You know, they had some penalties that were really, really bad. Oh, I'm sorry. What were we talking about? Mac Hollins. Yeah, so if you put your heel down after your toes touch in the end zone, it's out. It happened to Julio Jones a few years ago, happened to T. Higgins last year. I don't agree with the rule, but that's
that's what I was saying. Like, if you can get your toes in and then your heels hit, like, they need to address that rule. But
because like you could do a toe drag, right? Like that's the thing. If you like, if a toe drag works as a touchdown, then that should work as a touchdown too. I agree with that completely, but that's why that wasn't called a touchdown. But yeah, like I'm optimistic. I mean, I'm pissed off about Joe Barry because some of it's on him. They never really adjusted to the run really well. And then the other part is, you know, the offense, I assume there was going to be growing pains, but AJ Dillon, he didn't have running lanes for a bunch of them, but dude, like he did not look great. He did not look great.
Older the berry, sweeter the juice. That's what they say about Joe.
That's it.
All right, we're going to dive into all of these football games because there was even more tragedy. I'm sure we'll talk Giants, Cards, the Chargers choke one out. The Raiders started out hot and then just let the Bills slap them around. But before we do that, Tom, since I have no football luck at all.
Oh, I lost all but one. I won a tour. I won $60.
There you go. I still can't win a pick'em. I'm going to do one right now, though. I figure, you know what? When the cards are down, just keep throwing more cards on the floor. Is that what they say? What kind of cards are
I don't think that's what they say, Brandon.
Is that what they say?
I don't think that's what they say.
We got some games tonight. If you're going to play pick'ems or you want to play fantasy football, you got to use our Underdog link in the description to sign up. Our code GPS, they're going to match your first deposit up to $100. They're doing mystery pick'em specials all week. So, you know, they also we might have to address the Underdog pick'em booster curse.
Yeah, it might be a curse. Might be a curse.
Because it was Rodgers, and then I think Johnny tweeted. I forget who it was this week too. But they'll usually take care of you, even if a curse happens. But they're also doing $100,000 Sundays. So to enter those, all you do is play in a pick'em game with the featured player. You don't even have to win that pick'em game, and you enter to possibly win $100,000.
I did that, and I won that.
You're $100,000 richer?
Oh no, I'm saying I won it because I picked Tua to have lower, and then I picked Christian McCaffrey to have a touchdown.
One of the ones I lost, I picked higher on. No wait, I messed up the Mac Jones one, I think.
Talking to America.
Yeah. So you got to use our code GPS when you sign up so they know that we got you there. So right now, we got our featured pick is Nick Chubb, right? Half a fantasy point. Sorry, Browns fans. This is Nick Chubb's last game.
Like it's the curse now. It is the curse.
Luckily for Chubb, it won't be an injury. He will just be traded probably to the Colts in the first quarter. And the Browns are going to think they're going to get Jonathan Taylor, but that's not going to happen. So I'm going to take the higher on Chubb. All right. Let's see here. Watson, 17. Carr, 15 point. Ooh, I kind of like
lower
higher on Carr against Carolina.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought they were playing against each other for a second. Yes. No, I like that.
Okay.
Even though Brian Burns did really, really well last week.
Yeah, he had a nice game. Ooh. I think we do
Dude,
all
Bryce
these.
Young, I go lower. You can against that New Orleans Saints defense.
Oof. 13.5. So he needs what, like 200, over 200 passing yards and a passing touchdown and a little more. Yeah, I'll take the lower there. Sure.
You go lower on Kenny too.
Ooh, 14.
Against that Cleveland defense, held the Bengals to 3. I want to talk about the Bengals so bad too.
Okay. Yeah, I like 4 there. I'm going to live. I'm going $25. I'm gonna
Look
live.
at you.
Now let's get wild, Tom. Let's go $50.
Oh my good Jesus.
$500 payout if I hit on this higher or lower.
Not over.
You've hit your entry limit. What does that mean? Okay, 20. Max is 20.
Oh, because it's the special. That's
yeah,
why.
because it's special. There we go. So again, Underdog Fantasy, just use our code GPS when you play, and they will take care of you.
Let's so let's just talk about blown leads just to keep it in there. Cardinals Giants. How do you feel about the Giants after this game? Because like if I'm the Giants, I don't feel any better. Like you look at Daniel Jones and you go like, oh, okay, you know what? Like he able to come back. Like he had a really nice game. Unfortunately, Saquon got hurt, so that really, really sucks. So I'm okay for right now. My head just really hurts.
Yeah, I got your Ravens, but yeah, I mean, it
was just like, dude, like holy crap, man.
I think a couple things could be true here. One, yes, the Giants have more problems than we would have liked to believe heading into the opening of the season. Depends on the Saquon Barkley injury, right? Hurts his ankle in this game. Don't know his prognosis yet. But maybe the Cardinals aren't as bad of a football team as we all wanted to believe, right?
Sure.
I think because they played a nice game against the Commanders last week. So I'm going to give them credit for that, even though they lost. And they started out with the big lead. So I think the Cardinals are a little better. Now the question for Giants fans is like the second half, Daniel Jones was perfect. Over 250 passing yards, over 50 rushing yards, 2 passing TDs, a rushing touchdown. Like he was exactly the guy you paid for was Jones in that second half. Is that going to be here? Is that the Giants next week though? Like they feel like a week-to-week team and they could be very good or the worst team on earth.
They're playing on Thursday against the 49ers.
Oh, that's the worst thing they could have, Tom.
Like, yeah, it's going to be bad, buddy. Oh, don't worry, Ben. We're going to talk about them. Yeah,
there's no concern.
The Giants, they're a weird team. They're the only team in their division that isn't undefeated. Like I mentioned this in the in the breakdown. So an AFC team, because the whole offseason we're like, oh my God, the AFC is gonna be so much better than the NFC, all this stuff. And that still might be true. But the AFC has 2 undefeated teams right now. The Browns could be 2-0 after tonight. Technically, they're undefeated still, right? But the NFC East has 3-1 division. They have, I think, 6 teams. Like, it's insane. So I have no idea what the hell is going on. The Giants are like a weird-ass football team. Again, I like Brian Daboll a lot, but it's against the Cardinals. But then again, like, I think we also, like you said, could be wrong about the Cardinals. Maybe they're not as bad as we thought because they were competitive against the Commanders.
Yeah.
But, like, you have other teams, like the Rams, who have come out of nowhere. They won last week against Seattle, who beat Detroit. And don't worry, we are going to talk about that, Perna. But then, like, they went toe-to-toe for a while with the 49ers.
Yeah, I think, like, if I'm trying to play, optimistic Giants fan here and just an optimistic football fan, it's week 1, call it a wash.
Sure.
Week 2, Giants kind of figured it out basically halfway through week 2. That's fine. I think, like, the elimination of one preseason game, like, it takes a week or 2 for teams to figure things out. And Joe Burrow talked about this, where the reason he and the offense are off to a slow start, he's like, I wasn't there for all of, training camp in preseason because of my calf injury, which he reactivated in that game. So I just think like a lot of teams are kind of working stuff out and they've got plenty of time to correct. And I think the Cowboys have a very good defense right now. So
yes,
they did beat the piss out of the Giants week 1.
They beat
but
the
they
Jets
came to
up
play
too.
against the Jets too. And Zach Wilson, who looked okay filling in for Aaron Rodgers on Monday Night Football, was horrible. He was lowest passer rating in the league, 3 interceptions, 3 sacks. Like the Jets are in way worse trouble than the Giants are.
Yeah. Well, it's because also the expectations were significantly higher. Yeah. Like significantly higher.
Don't know what that's like.
All right. Yeah, let's just kind of go through each of these games. So let's talk about the Bengals, dude. So the Bengals, we talked about this on Friday. Like, if they lose, this is going to be a big old problem. And they did. They're now 0-2. The Ravens looked really good. Lamar Jackson looked really, really good. OBJ got injured, so he left the game. But, dude, like, Zay Flowers looked good. And the Bengals, you mentioned this before, Brandon, no run game really to speak of. Kind of not there at all. And yeah, I'm not saying it's panic time for the Bengals, but they can't be feeling too good right now.
Like no, and look, like I would be very worried about Joe Burrow's calf injury. I think.
Sorry about that, Justin.
Oof. I think they probably brought him back too soon, right? Like there's this deadline of he needs to be back for week 1. And I think they needed to let his calf injury just be 100% because he flares up again. It's like, how long is that going to be a problem for him? I don't know. And the Bengals need all the help they can get on offense right now because you're right. They got no run game to hand off to, and they're not even. And the Ravens probably a tough team to run against. But Joe Mixon, 59 yards, it's not going to cut it. And Jamar Chase heading into this game, he was averaging like 115, 130 some yards against the Ravens. Like it was the most by any receiver against the Ravens. And Jamar Chase just 2 weeks. The passing game doesn't work. 31 receiving yards. Yeah, I'm panicking a little bit if I'm Bengals fans today.
Yeah, I don't remember who it is. I think their next opponent's not too bad. I'll double check now. But I mean, they don't look like themselves. They're playing you know what? They're playing the Rams.
Woo! We thought that was gonna be a gimme.
Listen, Puka, he's the guy. But yeah, if they lose to the Rams, it's panic time. If they lose to the Rams, it's definitely panic time. For the Ravens, dude, I mean, listen, I know you had some more injuries, but Lamar Jackson, if he can play like that,
efficient,
rocking. You're rocking.
Like what I want to see from the Ravens now is like this performance from Lamar where he's just like very efficient.
Yep.
But then he also has like 90 rushing yards and a TD there too. Like that's going to be a very dangerous version of the Rams or the Ravens.
I agree. Completely agree. Yeah. So Seahawks Lions. Let's talk about that, Brandon, because you cursed the Lions.
Cannot curse the most cursed team in the league.
You put them at number 1. You wore the blue ski mask. You've been talking about them nonstop. And now they lost to the Seahawks. And they got cursed because they had some bad ref calls too. So you cursed them.
Yeah, the officials.
You cursed them. You cursed them.
I did not.
So what do you have to say for yourself, buddy?
Play defense, Detroit. Why don't you just play a little freaking defense?
It's a good call. Well, it's really funny.
Keep DeAndre Swift, you idiots.
You know what's really funny is that when these two played last year, there was like no defense whatsoever, right? Because it was like a 40-point game for each of them. But the Lions got screwed by the refs, but dude, they got injured. They had a ton of injuries. So like that's also a major problem. Like the sun god
Montgomery left, right?
Montgomery, the sun god got hurt for a little bit. But yeah, dude.
This would be my concern right now. Jahmyr Gibbs, 7 carries, 17 yards. The same week you watch DeAndre Swift set a personal best for like 175 rushing yards or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think there's like, look, everybody
Houston
loves
got
Dan
hurt.
Campbell. And we all give Dan Campbell all the love because he's a soundbite machine.
Sure.
Genuinely, I think he cares about his players. But I think one thing the Lions might have a problem with is being a little bit stubborn. Maybe just a little bit too set in their ways, because I saw some football nerd, I can't remember who, and I mean that complimentary. It's people who understand the game, talking about using DeAndre Swift in taking advantage of his strengths as a runner, which the Eagles did. I think they're talking about not running him between the guards or something, and they're getting him on the outside, and that the Lions basically refused to do that with him last year. Like, they want guys to play their way versus being the type of coaching staff that utilizes some player strengths in certain areas. I'm not saying that's across the board,
Sure.
but if you want to be critical of the Lions, maybe try to get a little too smart there. Too smart. That would be my critique. That said, I think the Lions are going to be fine. They got the curse out of the way early. Okay, Detroit, you're free. You're free from the curse. You're free. And you lost to the Seahawks.
Yeah.
So that stings. Are the Seahawks the bounce back team of the week?
Dude, that's the thing. I think their loss last week looks a lot better because of how the Rams played against the 49ers.
Fair enough.
Because I think last week we were all like, what the hell, man? Like, the Rams aren't even supposed to be good. But Puka Nakua over here is literally setting NFL records for the most receptions in his first 2 career starts with 25. He had 15 receptions yesterday on 20 targets. And he beat, who was it? Cooper? It was like 1980, who had like 18 catches or 19 catches on their first 2 games. So I'm not worried about the Lions. I was saying this last night. I think this is a bigger win for Seattle because they're like, hey, we had a tough loss last week against a team that a lot of people didn't expect a lot from. And now we beat a team that just knocked off the Chiefs. And I want to make you feel a little bit better, Brandon, because I do want to talk about that Chiefs game because that was
ugly.
Ugly. And the Jaguars, you had so many opportunities to win that football game. So I know Jaguars fans are not happy this morning.
Yeah.
They are not.
That's why I think Chiefs fans should be optimistic right now because their defense very opportunistic, looks good. Physical. Like, their defense just looks physical.
Yeah, I agree with that. But, I mean, the offense was like, okay. And, well, here's the thing. When Cooper Kupp comes back and you have Puka there too, like, I don't care what the system is, because they were talking about this with Matthew Stafford. I know we're talking about this game. I don't mean to jump off.
I can go,
but, like,
I'll find the Rams.
Matthew Stafford, right, has, like, made wide receivers. And I hope, like, that puts some respect on Stafford's name. Because, dude, like, look what he was able to do in Detroit. Kenny Golladay, who then went to the Giants and didn't do a thing there, got a ton of money. Cooper Kupp was already good, don't get me wrong, but has one of the greatest wide receiver seasons ever. And now Puka's setting records in 2 weeks. And I will say, shout out to the Rams, because they have allowed 1 sack in 2 weeks. 1. And that was against the 49ers too. That's impressive because last year, and I remember you and I watching this, Perna, especially that Bills home opener, good God, they got destroyed. That offensive line got Matthew Stafford hurt. So
it looks like the sack there, huh?
Looks like they fixed a good chunk of it. So
yeah. And here's like, I haven't even looked at like both the Stafford's picks yet, but this is always like the issue with, Matty Stafford. is just one too many picks. It's like just one too many. Like when a quarterback's going to throw it 55 times, shit's going to happen. And yeah, it was Puka went off. Tutu had another really nice game.
Yep.
You're right. Like it's just like get Cup back in there, and I want to see what that team can do. But same thing with Cooper Kupp. Like I think that hamstring is serious. And it's like the Rams are showing like they don't need to rush him back, which we did not think would be the case at all. So let him get 100% healthy, same way the Bengals should have with Joe Burrow. And yeah. And Brock
Sorry,
Purdy,
I didn't mean to interrupt, but it was just like it was impressive. We were talking about that. But yeah, for the Chiefs defense, they look pretty damn solid. The Jaguars offense was sloppy. The Chiefs offense was sloppy. It was just a weird day watching that. And I don't know if it's like you say it's not a concern because like, Kelsey will get better. He had a touchdown in his return. They should be better, but I don't know. Like is there a little cause for concern in Kansas City? I think they're going to figure it out.
No, they're fine. Like
Jaguars are going to be wondering about what if.
Yeah. Obviously, I think Kansas City's just trying to figure out who the other receiving person is outside of Kelsey, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Kelsey, first game back, coming off a bone bruise. He had that touchdown, just like a prototypical Travis Kelsey touchdown. But it wasn't like he did a ton in that game. Sky Moore, big play in there. He had like one big play, but it's like they're just trying to figure this situation out, who that guy is. And once they do, they're going to be fine. Like Mahomes had 300 yards and it felt like their offense sucked.
Yeah. 100%. This is just a rumor, by the way. Yeah. I talked about this in the video.
Oh yeah. I think Kansas City's defense is looking good and it's looking good early. Usually it takes a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think Kansas City is going to be fine. And I think Mahomes said something like this, like he's like, we felt like we played bad and we still won the game. And that's a pretty good position to be in.
Sure. So, yeah, I agree with that. Listen, this is what happens when you throw QBs into the fire. That's it. That's it.
The fire.
The Chiefs are playing the Bears next.
Oh, R.I.P. Chicago.
Yep.
R.I.P.
Yep. So there's that. Anthony Richardson, 2 rushing TDs. Gardner Minshew coming in filling after he left with a concussion. Yeah, but I will say, Texans, your offensive line is trash. Your offensive line is complete and total garbage. But CJ Stroud looked a bit better. I mean, those are pretty damn good stats. So, and on top of that, Dameon Pierce, like no run game too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like the biggest concern right now is Dameon Pierce is underperforming through 2 weeks. Like,
dude, I picked the over on him like all season because I was like, oh, he's going to have a monster year.
Yeah.
So CJ Stroud, though, if you're a Texans fan, because again, like you're not expecting to do incredible things.
Yeah.
But
he sacked 6 times in this game?
If Stroud is your guy, then you're rock. Yeah, they allowed 6. So,
and if you're the Colts, you're in a weird spot right now because Anthony Richardson, legit, you're excited about him, and he gets concussed on his second rushing TD. So this is the second week in a row where he's gotten banged up. It happened towards the end of the first week.
Jaguars game.
Not be super serious, but it just feels like the Colts are going to be let down based on stuff they can't control right now. Minshew comes in,
too.
Plays very Gardner Minshew-esque football. You're in good hands with Gardner, guys. But 2-0. Or 1-1 are the Colts. Yeah, they lost to the Jags last week, but they played well against Jacksonville.
Baker Mayfield, let him bake. He's 2-0, baby. He's 2-0.
Baker.
Justin Fields, dude. I think there's so many things. Like, there's so many things I could begin to talk about. The amount of sacks that I saw him take just by and maybe it was like 2 highlights that I saw that made me look worse. Dude he had time in the pocket. but he's just standing there for like 6 seconds and then takes a sack. And it's like DJ Moore, like he was cooking early in that game. Like he had a nice game. Yeah. But dude, the O-line, it wasn't great. But when he had time, he did not do well with it. So I don't know. I mean, this is what, the 12th straight loss for the Bears. And you were hoping at minimum you were going to see a drastic improvement. With Justin Fields, you got him the target he needed in DJ Moore. And now Bears fans are kind of looking and going, oh crap, is he not the guy now? Because after last season, we were all in. He's the guy. He's the guy. Yeah, they could. He's the guy. But now, it's real crazy how 2 weeks changes all that.
Yeah, well, I think it's right here. 4 carries, 3 yards for Justin Fields. Right now, for Justin Fields to be effective,
on all time,
but need him to be running the football on plays. Yeah. That threat needs to exist for opposing defenses, for other things to open up. And I know through like the evolution of him as a quarterback, you want to focus on the throwing of the ball. Yeah. But dear God, why were people excited about Justin Fields last year? It's because he was running the piss out of the football.
Yeah.
He had second half of the season, 178 yards, 147 yards, 132 yards, 95, 85. It doesn't have to be like that crazy, but 60 rushing yards in there for him, 65, 70, something. A couple plays where the defense has to think. On the flip side, Buccaneers, they're putting together a season right now.
They're baking, baby. And I'm sorry, I told you. When we were doing an underdog draft, I drafted Mike Evans, and you laughed at me, Brandon. You laughed at me. Well, who's laughing now? Mike Evans, who is one of he is one of the most underrated receivers, 1,000 yards every effing season, and he's going to do it again.
I would say he's the most underrated. I would say he's the most underappreciated. Everybody knows Mike Evans is good, and Mike Evans has done it with every type of quarterback. I was very concerned for Baker Mayfield to be getting Mike Evans balls. That was my concern.
They say he's not going to get suspended. They don't think so. That just came out this morning.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they don't think Jackson's going to get suspended.
But Baker's playing better than we thought. Baker's playing the way we thought he might play for Carolina last year.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Very good. I think we're all rooting for that. Also, my man, Shaquille Barrett, Shaq Barrett, the one that got away from Denver, a little pick 6 in this game, a 4-yard pick 6 on Justin Fields. Shaq, I freaking love Shaq Barrett. All-time, one of the all-time Broncos for me. Goes to college here in Colorado, plays for the CSU Rams, so the unpopular Colorado team right now, and had an injury last season. Love that he's back with that pick, and he got a sack, so I'm rooting for you, Shaq. Rooting for the Barrett.
The NFL does not make it easy to watch football games. Yeah, no, they do not. They do not make it easy. That is a constant thing that we complain about constantly.
Bills are fully back, baby. Look at this. 0 picks for Josh Allen. 0 picks for Josh Allen. He is so back. And more importantly, guys, Tom, we saw it.
They ran the ball.
123 yards. We saw what the Bills look like with the rushing game. That is insane. And Latavius Murray even found the end zone. Get that man on the field more. I know he's old, Buffalo, but I'm telling you, he can move and he will wear defenses out. More Latavius Murray carries. And Josh Allen, only 7 rushing yards. That's exactly what the Bills want to do every week. And thank you for proving me right and that the Raiders are indeed garbage.
Well, Devontae had that touchdown, and I was like, oh, crap. Like, is he going to? And then no.
Early, it was an impressive touchdown, too. Like, damn, that's why he's one of the best receivers in the game.
Yep.
But Josh Jacobs finished with -2 rushing yards.
Not great. Still
Also,
number one
who
in the
hell is
division, though.
Trey Tucker.
They are number one in the division.
Yeah. Whatever, guys.
It's like the Packers,
Keep grasping.
baby.
Oh, man.
I want to talk about this game. Herbert had like the game of his life. Throws for 300 yards. Right? It's not the game of his life, but he had a really, really nice day. He had a really, really good day. And they still effing lost that game. And like, kudos to the Titans. Titans, they battle back a little bit. And it was a gritty ass win in Tennessee. They go into OT. Tannehill, he was efficient. He was after a disastrous start against the Saints.
And I think was he sacked 5 times in this game? Let me go team stats here. It was a gutsy performance by old Ryan Tannehill. 5 sacks, just 4 incompletions. So yeah, that's like we knew this game was going to be close too, because the Titans are the least sexy team in the NFL, but their defense it's tough.
Their defense is for real.
It's tough. They're a hard team to beat. Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen himself a good one.
Williams.
Yeah. I mean, not having Austin Eckler definitely hurt.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, like Brandon Staley, defensive genius, like, where are you, buddy? Where are you? And I think if they don't make the playoffs this year, he's gone. Because he was already on the hot seat, especially because he was asked, he kind of flipped out on the media yesterday because he was asked of like, oh, that Jacksonville game, is that kind of lingering? And he's like, no. He's like, nobody's talking about the Jacksonville game.
Yeah.
Nobody. But I don't think that's a bad take because I think there's Chargers fans already calling for Kellen Moore to take over as head coach.
Yeah, and this game went into overtime. The Chargers were up 11-0, right? And they had the ball first in overtime, and they just went. Did they go 3 and out?
I didn't see the overtime part. I didn't see that.
Yeah,
but
so
it's just
it's just it's
not great.
It's so predictable. That's what sucks for Chargers fans.
Yeah, and like they played well, right? Like it hasn't they didn't get blown out. Like they played well against the Dolphins. They went toe to toe with them. They had a really good run game last week, and like they're just continuing to find ways to lose games.
Yeah,
we talked about 49ers, Rams.
Jets are dead.
Yeah, Jets are.
Robert Saleh, Sir Saleh, with all due respect, this is why everybody wrote you off as soon as Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's exactly why. Because it's like you have the team, but you know what? I'm gonna attack like Robert Saleh a tiny bit because Breece Hall got 4 carries, and now I understand there really wasn't a whole lot of running room, right? Because the defense of the Cowboys looked really good, but he is arguably the best player on offense with Garrett Wilson. Yeah. Like, you got to give him opportunities, man. When Zach Wilson's your leading rusher, it's not great, Bob. It's not great. You got to get something going.
You got to help Zach Wilson. And 8 combined carries between Cook and Hall.
Yeah.
2 from Michael Carter in there. Now, Breece Hall, he popped up on the injury report late this week. So, maybe there's something there. But, yeah, Zach Wilson, too many mistakes. And Dallas, fudge, man.
Their offense again, they're going against a very good defense. Their offense was efficient. It wasn't amazing by any stretch, but Micah Parsons, I said this yesterday, if he continues to play like this, he needs to be considered for MVP, not defensive player of the year, MVP.
Whoa, let's never give MVP to a defender. That's disgusting.
He is disgustingly good. And the way that he plays football, it's just, dude, I know this word gets thrown around a lot. Legit, I think he's a generational player. He is a generational player. And I think if he continues his season and he continues his career the way that it has been, they're going to be talking about him as one of the greatest of all time.
No.
Yes. He's good, dude. He is.
Nobody will ever say that about a defensive player.
He is really.
Nobody will ever say.
I'm saying one of the greatest defenders of all time. His name is going to be up there.
He's very good. He's very good.
He is a monster. He is a monster. Now, again, there's some concerns with Dak. Maybe some of those should have been intercepted a little bit. But Yeah, I mean, if their defense can be real every single week, I think they're playing the Cardinals next.
Dak Prescott goes 31-38, 2 touchdowns, no picks, and people are like, but he could.
Yeah, he
have
could have
thrown a few picks. Did you see the could-haves? Poor Dak.
No, he's never going to get away from it ever.
No. Hey, look, Kevontae Turpin got a couple carries.
There you go.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. This one, because Sauce Gardner deleted his Twitter, right? And he was getting roasted for CD having 143 yards. And then today it was like, but Sauce was only responsible in coverage on one of those plays. So do any of us understand football at all?
No, never. No.
Like Sauce, he got roasted on Twitter for stuff that wasn't even his fault.
Yeah.
So much though, he's like, I don't need this Twitter or this X. I don't need X.
CeeDee Lamb had a really nice game too.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb was really good. He was really, really good.
Talk Broncos, Commanders, Dolphins.
Yeah, so that was an interesting game. They allowed the Patriots to, and I'm sorry, refs. Come on, the lateral to the big guy. Just give it to it. It's close enough. Come on now. Just, you know what? I don't care. Just break the rules of football. I don't care.
Does Mike Gesicki not remember what happened to the Patriots last year when they started lateraling footballs around?
Mm-hmm.
If something were going to give Belichick a heart attack, it would have been that play. So rest assured, he's in good health.
This was an ugly game for the Patriots for the vast majority of the game. Like the Dolphins never ran away with it. Like they were up like by 2 scores, which was good, but they never and then Raheem Mostert was like, never mind, I'm going to take care of it. Raheem Mostert was a monster. And this is what we were saying about Mike McDaniel, what he needed to do. Because Tyreek Hill had a quiet night. He had a touchdown, but 40 yards, right? Yeah. Jalen Waddle was the primary receiver. But they ran the ball really efficiently. And they have the running backs. Like Ahmed looked good too. I mean, he didn't get like a ton, but he felt his presence in that game. Every time they gave him as like a change of pace back, like he did well. So
yeah, I think like it was kind of just like a breaking point for the Pats. Like we knew they would limit the passing game for the Dolphins because that's what they do so well. And that's what Belichick does. He's like, whatever their strength is, we're going to take that away. And I thought they did a good job against the run. And then Mostert just ripped off that long touchdown and it just crushed them. It was the Patriots played like a team that should have won, which should speak to how good the Miami Dolphins are right now.
I think the Dolphins are one of the best teams, yeah.
From week 1 to week 2, their defense got a whole lot better because the Chargers gashed them, right? So Fangio's defense is starting to snowball. They'll be all right. Mac Jones gets a lot of heat. He played pretty good in this game.
He has no weapons, man. Like, let's just be very honest. Like, I don't think Mac Jones is the bee's knees. I don't think like he is elite or anything like that. But the guy is not terrible. And he just like, he doesn't, I said last night, he doesn't have a game breaker. Like Devontae Parker, solid. Like he's a solid guy, right? Hunter Henry, that's fine. Kendrick Bourne, yeah. Like Thornton, he's the speedster guy. But they need a legit wide receiver 1 who can break the game for them, and Mac Jones can target all the time.
So the Bucks, they didn't give Mike Evans the contract he wanted. So then everyone's like, oh, they're going to trade him. They're going to trade him before the trade deadline. Now that they're 2-0, I don't think they are.
They trade him.
Who could use Mike Evans more? The Patriots or the Giants?
Ooh.
Like, there's both teams, like a bunch of solid receivers, a bunch of number 2 receivers, you might say. I mean, I would be very interested to see
Mike Evans on the Pats
like with the Patriots
would be really interesting.
I don't think the Patriots have a legit shot to climb back in this division because I think the Dolphins and the Bills are ahead.
Yeah.
The Giants could get back in the Cowboys are very good. Well, no, like the Eagles and Cowboys are really good. Actually,
Washington's 2-0 too.
Washington's good too. The Giants need Mike Evans more. They need him more. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, they just don't have the guy. They just don't have their guy. So, I mean, he's throwing more, he looks a little bit more comfortable, but overall, I don't know, man. They definitely could use Mike Evans, but I don't think he's going anywhere.
no, I think like their start, they're optimistic, and it's like, you got Saints Panthers tonight. So,
Yep.
If like the Saints lose this game and they're 1-1, and all of a sudden it's like, ooh, the Bucks in the NFC South are the team to beat.
Yep.
I don't think the Saints will lose, but what's a little more surprising? The NFC South maybe looking a little more competitive early, or
do you think they might have
AFC
3-2-0, right? 3-2-0 teams? Because the Saints, the Bucks, and the Falcons.
Well, the Saints
the Falcons
play, right?
the Saints playing tonight against the Panthers.
Yeah.
They could have 3.
But
and I think the Saints should win tonight. So
AFC South, like the Jags, they lost to the Chiefs. Yeah. That's not a surprise. But the Jags, I think, are a good football team. The Titans got a big win there. And the Colts look better than I thought they would as a team. Like I thought Richardson would look good, especially early, but both of those teams exceeding expectations. So that's nice for fans there.
Expectations and things. Yeah, and then you have Browns Steelers, which I don't think both games are going to be particularly good. I picked Browns Steelers to stream, but it's
the Saints Panthers, like that has a chance to be kind of like the Saints kind of run away with it. Browns Steelers, it could go bad quickly for the Steelers, but I think it's just going to be an ugly, tough game.
Yeah.
I feel like the Browns will. I've been so high on them. I feel like they're going to underperform a little bit. And I think everybody's so low on the Steelers, they're going to overperform a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, right now, the teams that I'm looking at, like the 49ers, even though the Rams gave them like a good run, like they're still up there. The Cowboys are up there. Ravens, if they continue to look like that, that's great. But yeah, the Dolphins right now, I really like the way the Dolphins are playing football because they won in 2 different ways. Yeah, right? Against 2 very different teams. Yep. They went toe-to-toe with a really good offense in the Chargers, and they were able to just outscore them. And the Patriots, they go against a really good defense, and they run the ball. So
who do they play next? Who's Miami's next opponent?
It's good.
Oh, fuck, it's my Broncos, damn it. I forgot. It's going to be a slaughter. The Broncos, I'm going to bet either Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle has 200 receiving yards in that game.
There you go.
No. So, yeah, congrats, Dolphins. You're going to start 3-0.
We'll see. It depends on how they win. We'll see.
Then the week after that, it's Dolphins-Bills. That game is going to be nuts.
That game's going to be so much fun. That game is going to be so much fun.
Tom, what do you got coming out today?
Blood.
Not
yet.
Visit?
Not yet.
Stream your doctor concussion visit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna probably do a skit about all the blown leads. I kind of want to do something on that. I'm probably not gonna put out the North Saga today. Every Fans is gonna come out after Monday Night Football. I'll be streaming Monday Night Football tonight, Browns Steelers, and then Every Fans. And then tomorrow will be one of the North Sagas coming out and power rankings. What about you, Perna? You got new worst game?
Yep. New.
That's gonna be a banger.
Pain.
That's gonna be a banger.
We'll see. It hurts so much.
But it's good for the channel.
It is, but
so,
dear God, save us all.
But folks, we appreciate you. We had over 6,000 people rocking with us today on GPS. We're here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we gonna rock and roll, baby. We gonna rock and roll.
Well,
folks, thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS, and you have been navigated. Watch out for counters.
Yes. Your destination is not a countertop.
Look how strong my head is.